Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got an exciting video today. I think it's a pretty exciting one. It was based off a comment that I had seen. It was a little bit of a negative comment. Negative comments always tend to almost seem to bring out the best videos because they're interesting. They're interesting how people think towards silver, especially people that are, I don't want to say the outsiders, but people that are anti-silver. Because it's something interesting to talk about. Sometimes it's a valid argument, and sometimes it's really just an argument that has no research and nothing to it. But this one had a good point, I guess you could say. This individual said that he bought silver in 2012, and he is still upside down about 20% on his money. We're going to talk about that today, what he did, what he could have done better, and how that essentially didn't really have to happen. I didn't want to be ugly in the comment in my reply back, but I did want to state a few facts that I feel the individual went really wrong with on that purchase. So we're going to talk a little bit about that and what I think that the person did right on early on, but didn't back it up and follow through essentially. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please help me out by hitting that thumbs up button. I am trying to grow the channel, so if you're not subscribed and you want to help me out by hitting that subscribe button, it really does help me out more than you know. And leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on this subject or anything. And for those of you that don't know, I have started doing a second video every afternoon. I'm going to test this out for a little while where I'm doing a video based off of a comment that came in during the day, the morning video. And that way people that watch the videos early in the morning before they go to work or when they have their coffee can actually still have the opportunity to watch something in the evening as they're winding down. So definitely check out both videos if you really do enjoy the show, or if you need some great tips, and leave a comment. Your comment could be what the video for tonight or this afternoon or any afternoon is going to be about. So with that being said, let's talk a little bit about what happened. So for those of you that don't know, silver was trucking along in the early 2000s. We're talking $5, $6 an ounce. I mean, cheap. As cheap as you can imagine. And if you were buying silver and you were putting a paycheck into silver, you were getting a lot of silver for your money. I actually talked to people that bought 800 ounces of silver like it was nothing. It was kind of crazy when I had read this guy's comment and then went back and forth with him. You know, a lot of people were buying silver. It was a great deal. Price starts going up. As price goes up, well, what do you think is going to happen? YouTubers are going to swarm on that, and they're going to be talking about it. People are going to come out of the woodwork. Advertisement is going to come out even more. And before you know it, you are going to have everybody talking about silver on the news and everything. 2011 rolls around. We are now at an all-time high on silver. It is up to $50. Some people will say, no, it was $49.80. The truth of the matter is it was $50 and like 50 cents during midday trading, although they only track the closing bell or the close silver price close for the day. So it closed at $49.80, which was the highest close, even though during the day trading it traded higher. At that point, we started seeing a pullback, and this individual obviously must have been watching it, and then all of a sudden he sees the price go from 50 to, if he's down 20% right now, that would mean he probably bought at roughly high 30s or extremely low 40s, maybe even 40 bucks really. 40 to 30 would actually be a 25% cut. So he probably bought it a little bit more than that. But needless to say, looking at that, what did he do wrong? Well, you know, 2012. Think about that for a minute. That was 12 years ago. He had 12 years that he could have dollar cost averaged and bought that price down. Let's say we don't know how much he bought because it wasn't in the comment. But let's just say that the individual had essentially kept buying, and each time maybe he bought at 40, we'll say for easy math, and then he bought another, let's say he bought 10 ounces at 40, he buys 10 more ounces at 30. Well, now he's got 20 ounces at $35. And as the price goes down, it's continuing to go down. And here's the thing, it went down pretty low in that 12 years. In fact, silver went as low as technically $11, but I don't like to use the $11 number because $11 was during the whole cough, and nobody was willing to sell it. For those of you guys that weren't stacking at that point, big companies like Provident Metals, AppMax, JM Bullion, a lot of these companies were all closing their doors. What does that mean? It means they just were not selling. We sent everybody home. We're not selling for the next week or day, or we'll let you know further notice. Enjoy the day off. And nobody was selling. People were not willing to sell at $11. Did the market still move and appear like it was selling? Of course it did. Why? Because the paper markets were still moving. But physical traders knew that's a myth. That price at $11 is total BS. No one is going to go put the work into it. No one's going to mine it and sell it for $11. Another great example of that was when oil plunged. Remember when oil plunged to negative 56? Like someone just pulled it out of the ground at, high dollars per barrel, and now something happens and it's selling for negative. We're going to pay you to take it off my hands. Can you imagine silver doing that? Hey, I'm going to pay you $5 an ounce if you guys take these off my hands. I mean, it doesn't make sense. No one in their right mind would do that. And the same happens with oil, and the same can happen with anything. And a lot of that comes down to trading with shorts. When you have short positions or ETFs, that type of stuff, you're not really always trading straight up real commodities. What you're trading is a piece of paper. That's why a lot of people don't like the short ETF markets, that you can just say, oh, I'm going to sell 1 million ounces next week, or I'm going to sell 1 million ounces in 3 months from now, beat the price down as low as you can, and then buy all that back up. And then everybody just covers their shorts on the same time, and all of a sudden you just see that instant pop in the market where it jumps. So if that person had kept buying from, we'll say, $40 all the way down to $15, they would be in an awesome spot right now. And that's why I've always said from the get-go, dollar cost average. It's a little harder to say when the price is going up. I mean, someone like me that I started buying at $20, and then I doubled down. When it got down to $15, I was going in hard. There's some YouTube videos out there where I was betting big on $15 silver. And then when it went back up to 20, I literally paused and said, I'm not paying a penny over $20. Had to cough. It's funny looking back at that, me saying that, and I actually said it in a stream because I was live streaming that night. The price was at $20.01, and I was staying on. I kept the stream running. I was going to buy right there on the stream. And, a couple of the subscribers were like, dude, just pull the trigger. You're talking a penny. It got down to $20.01. And me being stubborn, and I am stubborn, I wouldn't buy it. I said, nope. I would give anything to go back and buy it at this point. So I go to bed. Eventually, the price just didn't dip. It just kept sitting right over $20. And then I wake up, I go to bed, close out the stream, tell everybody good night. That was back when I was live streaming almost every night. And then I go to bed. I wake up the next morning, almost $21. We're talking $20.90-something cents. And what do I do at that point? Well, I'll wait and see. I give it time. The next day, $22. And it just kept going up. And the truth of the matter is, we saw it go all the way up to $29 roughly. And some people that bought in at $29 were really upset. They were mad because they bought in at the high. Instead of using that as an opportunity, okay, I made a mistake. I bought in at the high. Let's dollar cost average it down and keep buying. Some people quit buying altogether. They were mad, and they were told by pawn shops and jewelry shops. I've never found a jewelry shop yet, but I was told this guy, he actually did go to a jewelry shop, and they told him their opinion of what it was worth. And he's like, you know, I lost a lot of money out of that. I bought it $29, and he was disgusted with it. And he said I could have bought it maybe at a jewelry shop for cheaper. I've never found a jewelry shop personally yet that sells bullion, but maybe some of y'all know of some. So needless to say, though, he was upset. At 29, I can understand. It's the highest that silver has seen since 2011, 2012. And this was during the whole cough. And then it came down. And as it came down in price, he didn't double down. He didn't buy any extra. It came all the way down to $22. Now, fast forward, it had a lot of floating around. You know, it works its way around the 25s, the 24s, gets down to 22. Well, when 22 came around, for those of you that don't know, because this was the beginning of this year now, we're all the way advanced now. Once it got down to 22, a lot of people were talking online. The majority of online people were talking about how silver was going to go under 20 again. And some people wouldn't have that. I really have my own beliefs and stuff, and I don't follow what other YouTubers say. So if another YouTuber says something, it's rare that I'm going to base my judgment off of what they say. I utilize everybody's opinions and information, and then I cast my own judgment on what I think is going to happen, because ultimately, no one is going to care more about your financial future than you are. That's why some people on YouTube will flip-flop. You'll see them say one thing and then another thing. And I have gotten many comments saying other YouTubers say it's going to plunge, or other YouTubers saying this. I don't care at the end of the day. I mean, I focus on me, and that's it. And I try to share with you guys that follow the channel what I'm doing. And if you guys can either take the advice, the information, and tie it into what you're thinking, or you can just listen to it and kind of put it with other people's thoughts and go with it. And it's not meant to be bad. It's meant to be, I don't have a crystal ball. I'm doing what I think's right based on the amount of time that I put into studying the price of silver and stuff. But if people would slow and steady keep stacking, chances are I can't see any strategy where someone could lose money. Because your buying is dollar cost averaging. Now, if you follow the stock markets or the crypto markets, a lot of people on there are going to tell you, do not try to time the markets. Do I try to time the markets? Of course I do. It's habit. If I see a big enough dip, I want to double down and buy a little extra. Have I done that and then all of a sudden it goes a little lower? Yeah. If I had dollar cost averaged, well, I would have gotten some at a lower price and some at a little bit of a higher price. The thing is, nobody really knows what's going to happen. And we're all just trying to make an educational guess based on patterns in the silver, in the charts, based on what's going on in the world events. And the truth of the matter is, you're going to need to make your own advice. But when you're dollar cost averaging, you're really going to be in a better spot, I think. Why? Because you don't have necessarily all your silver bought at the high. Unfortunately, you don't have it all in at the low either. You're just averaging it. And there's not many opportunities. Silver is just continuing to slowly go higher. And I hear this time and time again, everybody wants to pull out specific dates. But the truth of the matter is, if you pull out a specific date, you're cherry picking. And if I pull out a specific date, I'm cherry picking too. I mean, that's why I don't really give dates, timelines. What do I think silver is going to be at by the end of this year? I mean, I'll say that, but at the end of the day, I'm just giving you an estimate. By the end of this year, I still expect that we're going to see $38 to $40 silver. I would not be surprised to see $40 silver by the end of this year. We're talking 6 months away. If we hit $40 silver, I want you to think of how much of a gain that is. That's a huge gain. That essentially means we did 80% increase in the price of silver. Now, some people think 80% in a year, that's impossible. That's not likely. Cryptos do it. Why can't silver do it? When people want solar panels, do you think they care how much silver is? When people want a new cell phone, do you think they care how much silver is? If, unfortunately, a major trying to think of the proper word, WAR, breaks out, do you really think that the government is going to care how much silver is in a Tomahawk missile? They're going to buy them. And that's really the way things are. People want something, they buy it. Especially when we live on a debt-based system with fiat currency. The government ain't paying for them missiles. It's tax dollars. Most people, probably not the people in this room, but the average person out there, don't care how much something costs because they're just going to charge it. And if they can't afford to put it on a credit card now, they're making it even easier. You want a new cell phone? Some of them new phones, $1,500. I could not believe that when someone I know got a $1,500 Apple phone. And I mean, they got insurance on them. They got payment plans on them. And, oh, well, it's not that bad. It's only like $100 a month for the next 16 months or whatever. It's funny that people don't see that, what's going on. And with anything and everything, prices of everything is going up. And as these prices go up higher and higher on food, phones, cars, houses, everything, you can expect silver and gold is going to go up higher. But here's the thing. When do all those items come down in price? Generally during uncertain times. What does that mean? When essentially WAR breaks out and all of a sudden people are scared. They're uncertain what's going on. Some major geopolitical event that's causing people to worry. For those of you that don't know, there's actually 4 Russian ships that are moving into the Caribbeans later this week. They're actually doing a exercise, which training outside the 5 mile or whatever the mileage is. I believe it's 5 miles from the United States. However, they're showing force. And I don't think the U.S. is going to like that too much. We'll see how it all plays out. But as these tensions heat up, stuff will start to come down. Houses, cars, people are going to get scared. Credit's going to tighten up. Remember what happened during the whole cough? People's credit cards were lowered. I had my balance on one lowered. I had another one essentially just canceled. They said, no, we canceled it. You haven't been using it. You haven't used it in like a year. We're deleting the card. And I was mad. Other cards, they lowered the balance or the credit limit. As stuff like that happens, it creates a tightening. And as the money gets tighter, stuff has to come down in price. Because if a TV is $1,000 and they're selling out hypothetically, well, let's lower it to $700. Now, are they selling out? They're selling out, but all of a sudden money gets tight, and then no one's buying them at $700, no one's buying them at $600, no one's buying them at whatever. It's simple supply and demand. When stuff is selling out every week, they're going to want to raise the price. When stuff is not selling, they're going to lower the price. And when it comes to silver during uncertain times, that doesn't go down. In fact, that has the opposite effect. Silver and gold go up during uncertain times because more countries will buy it and more individuals will buy it. And then on top of that, if WAR breaks out, we're going to need it. So, the idea of dollar cost averaging, waiting, precious metals are going to keep going up. Gold and silver is a great investment in my personal opinion. This is not financial advice. It's just my opinion. But I would recommend, my personal opinion, that people just kind of keep going. Keep an eye open. Look for the dips if you can. And go with it. And obviously, here on YouTube, for some people that didn't read in some of these lines, we're not allowed to give financial advice. So that's why I put that disclaimer in all the videos below. And I mention it. It's not financial advice. Why? Because each person's finances is going to be different. For me to say, go out and buy 100 ounces, that might work for some of you. It may not work for some of you. For some of you, putting away an extra couple ounces a month is a big accomplishment. And that's something really to be proud of, because the truth of the matter is, if you have any silver, you're way ahead of the average human being around the world. Because when you take all the people, you divide all the silver up by all the people, there's only like 7 or 8 ounces. And that's not even taking full effect that a lot of it has already been wasted, and we don't have exact numbers on how much is gone for good. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to check out this afternoon's video. I will have a great comment picked out, and we'll talk a little bit about that comment. Take care, everybody, and have a great day, and keep dollar cost averaging. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.